Okay, folks, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me, and we're going to get started in just a minute. Hey, Chantal, you are alive, huh? Okay, welcome to the FOMC statement, 10-year, 10-minute trades trade room. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director for 10-minute trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so trade carefully, please. Hey there, Weldon. Nice to see you made it into the room. I did something to your software access. Maybe you can check it later and let me know if you can see it the next time you log on to the website, okay? Let me know if you can see it. You were set up to see it, so I'm not sure why you couldn't, but I did something different. Maybe there's a bug, or I'm really not sure, to be honest. But you should be able to see it now. So the big shame is I don't have good videos for the FOMC statements. I don't know why. I don't know what happened to all my videos, but I have like minimal videos at all on the FOMC statement. And part of the other issue is we have been trying to trade it as a breakout, and it's been, I mean, as a reversal, and it's been working as a breakout. Anyway, this is going to be a little bit tricky today, I think, because the markets are so much more volatile than they were the last time. Although you know what? I'm going to take that back. The markets were just as volatile last month as they are this month. If you notice, the NQ statement last month, I was looking for a reversal, but it worked perfectly as a breakout. And I will not be trading it as a reversal. So the report comes out at 2. I also noticed bonds moved last month, Chantal. This report moved right at 2, even before. It really looks like it moves a little bit before 2. So I'd probably consider the 58 entry right now on this report. As much as I hate 58 entries, I'm going to use a very large bracket today because of the volatility in the markets, because the NQ is down 30 ticks right now, 30 points. Let me make sure. I'm sure it's points. The NQ is down 30 points. Yes. Let's see where it is 15 minutes from now. Okay. That I'm interested in. Where is the NQ 15 minutes from now? It's down 30 right now. Okay. All right. So we're going to watch a little bit. I've got a couple of videos. Oh, when did you last check, Weldon? When did you last check? How long ago? So right now the NQ, you just logged off and on. Oh, okay, okay, okay. That's good. I'm going to turn, I want to make sure that my financial juice is working. I'll show you a couple of other FOMC videos. Although I think in all honesty, the videos are not, when they go back to before January, the markets were not quite the same. So, but it still doesn't hurt to look at them. If you go back to September, that's a long time ago. Look at what it looks like in September. Oh, I don't know why this video's late. September, it looks like we were still doing reversals, but it was making fairly good breakouts. Okay. There were still pretty good breakouts in September. That's not a very good video. In November, let's see what it looks like. In November, the markets were pretty crazy. NASDAQ was down a lot of points. Again, we were doing reversals. Now, this entry was late, but being a couple of seconds early did not make any difference. It's a 20-second cancel. I don't know if I'd cancel this trade, because there's generally going to be a big move one way or the other, and then a reversal of some sort. So it was just very slow in November, very slow. And then the NASDAQ's down 9 points since we started talking. So I think what I had planned to do is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use a bigger bracket, maybe a little bit smaller outer target and inner targets. In December, this is what the move looked like. And I don't know what happened to my January video. I'm going to look a little bit for 1 minute for it when I'm done with this video. There's two places where it might be. See, that moved early also. So I don't want to go in at 0-0 because we'll miss the move. This report seems to be a little bit early. This was an incredible reversal. But out of the last 4 or 5 months, it was the only really good one. And then let me take a peek. Let me take a peek for January. I don't know what happened to January's video. Give me 1 second. There's only 2 places that it can be. January FOMC. And no, it's not in that one place. 2 places. Nope. I got one other place, 2 more places, 2 seconds. It's worth looking for it. Because I just want to see what kind of move it was. Now, I guess I'm missing that video and I don't know why. January 27th. No, whatever happened to it, it's gone. March 17th was a really good move. Again, looking for that reversal makes no sense right now. It's not really reversing the way it used to. And March, it was a little bit early also. It burst up and kept going. So March was a very good move also. Now the NQ's down 41. So I think my idea of a slightly bigger bracket shouldn't hurt us. And if it does, then it does. I think, I mean, the bracket of 15, it has been working even when the NQ was crazy, totally crazy. But I'm going to go to a bracket of 22, I think, is what I'm leaning towards. I just want a little bit bigger bracket. Okay. So we have quite a bit of time. Watch the market. I don't think that there's going to be any change to the interest rate. That would be very surprising. That would be a shock. Wouldn't be a surprise. It would be a shock. So we'll watch the market move a little bit. I'm watching bonds also because last month, if you look at the video, I was watching ZB, and ZN has a lot better liquidity. And ZB was pretty volatile before the trade also, before the news. Look at that. That was a pretty volatile little pop. I mean, it wasn't huge, but it was unusual. A little bit unusual. And then as the news came out, let's watch the bonds and see if they followed through or not. They didn't really follow through, to be honest. Not yet, anyway. You have to have a fairly decent sized stop and not getting a follow through there. So I'm not sure now that, you know, they're starting to move. Now, I'm not sure about bonds. I haven't tested it enough yet. Now it's moving. So, I mean, there's certainly movement. The question is there a trade? Movement does not always equal a trade, okay? Does not always equal a trade. So since we got here, the NASDAQ has dropped about 10 points. I think what everybody's worried about is everybody is worried that the Fed doesn't have a good handle on how much inflation there is. The Fed seems to be ignoring the level of inflation, possibly, or thinking it's temporary. And I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just saying these are things that the market is somewhat worried about. The levels of it. I know that, 3M came out with their earnings and they had claimed that a lot of the pricing pressure is affecting them dramatically. A lot of companies that have had earnings are mentioning pricing pressure, which is inflationary. There's supply chain problems everywhere. The Suez Canal situation did not help. The crisis in the world has absolutely made supply chain more problematic. So, I mean, there is no question that there is supply chain. There are supply chain issues. I think that we know. There are supply chain issues. And that happens. All right, so let's look at the DMM. So the setup, my concern these days is that the NQ is moving very largely on information that comes out. That's what I'm seeing with the NQ. Our first target, I'm just going to shrink to 15. And then the second target, I'm going to put on 35. So I'm increasing the bracket a little bit. I'm tiny bit shrinking the targets, tiny bit. The stop is 20. The stop is 20. And if my first target gets hit, I'll try to move my stop down to break even or up to break even. Our entry time is 13:59:58. And I'm going to label the trade. NQ FOMC statement. Trading for real. Let's check our sync, time sync, by going to the website time.is. So I don't think anybody expects the FOMC to change the rates. Like I said, that would be a big, big shock. That would be a big shock. Now it's a cancel at 20 seconds. We've been seeing news react much more slowly these days. This particular report has not had a history of acting all that slowly, okay? It's been acting pretty fast. So I'm just using a slightly bigger bracket, 22. Targets of 15 and 35, stop at 20, entry 13, 59, 58. That's the setup I'm using. We're up a big 40 bucks from the oil trade. So we'll see if we get the same type of behavior out of the index that it's been doing for the past months. I'm listening to news. JP Morgan is expecting an uneventful meeting. That's what JP Morgan is saying, that they're expecting an uneventful meeting. Is there ever an uneventful meeting? And I'm listening to what Goldman Sachs is saying. Everybody seems to think the Fed's going to stick with no rate hikes for quite a while. And not much of a talk about tapering, QE. So who knows if we'll get a good move or not. Sometimes, you just get a move because it's a meeting. So the trend is down, certainly. If you look at a 10-minute chart on the NQ, when the first half hour was quite bullish, made a new high, and then 10 o'clock, it started selling off. And it's come back about 35, 40% since then, 30%. So it's definitely still, it's a downward trend right now on the NQ. Downward trend. Anybody else joining in the trade or not? Anyone else joining in the trade? Fred, your trade? Normal type trade, Fred? Okay. Yeah, I hope I'm right about the bracket. I hope it doesn't move, 22 ticks, right? Well, if it did, that would not work for the other bracket either. That would be a very small move. It would just barely fill us if it moved 22 ticks. So I'm going to check my time sync one more time by going to the website time.is. And I'm a tiny bit behind. So I'll click my dimension 4, put me back in sync. And then I'll run my time sync one more time by going to time.is. And dimension 4 is not working today. 0.3 seconds, I'll still trade no matter what. Try once more. Sometimes you have to do it a couple of times. Wow, it will not put me in sync. I've never seen that happen. So I'll keep trying. Still going to trade it. Still going to trade it. Try one more time. You've had the same problem, Fred? Strange. I wonder if it's accurate. I wonder if it's accurate. I've never had that happen before. So I'm still going to go with it. It's a very tiny 0.3 seconds, not very much. We're entering early enough, I feel, that it shouldn't be an issue. We should be okay. So we got about 1 minute and 15 seconds. It's theoretically a 20-second cancel. That's a little short. It's a little short, but this report's moved pretty quick. It has moved pretty quick. You can see bonds, bonds always have interest in the Fed. Bonds have interest in the Fed. So no change, no move. That's not much of a move. Now that's very unusual. Look at bonds. Bonds went crazy. Oh, we missed our target by one tick. One tick. One tick. Unbelievable. Look at that bond trade, though. So my bracket was too big. My bracket was too big by one tick. Very, very frustrating. Look at bonds. Look at bonds. Look at the NQ now. Look at the NQ now. That's a little bit frustrating. My own fault. My own fault. Used too big a bracket. Too big a bracket. And you know what's funny? I was thinking of using a 20. Thinking of using a 20. Now, and it reversed in a way that it hasn't been reversing in a long time. What's incredibly interesting is the bond move looked really tradable also. Very, very tradable. Very tradable. So I think I made a mistaken judgment. The NQ's been crazy for a lot of these reports. Clearly, I should have just left the bracket alone. I have to take responsibility. I should have left the bracket alone. It would have been a winning trade. It would have been a winning trade. No stop could have changed this, okay? No stop could have changed this. Now, I don't chase. I'm not going to chase it long. I mean, you don't know for sure it's not going to reverse again. There's no way to know that. Because now it's responding just to the comments. Okay, we were trading the initial jerk. Well, good for you, Fred. Good. Did you use the signal to get in, Fred? I'm just curious. Did you use the green? Was that, or did you just take the reversal? Okay. So, I mean, you've had your reversal. I wouldn't go flying back in now. I wouldn't go flying back in now. It might go test the high. You don't know. There's no way to know. But I have to take my responsibility on my mistake, missing the first target. I would not have hit my second target because it reversed. All right, folks, we'll be back for possible earnings trades at 3:30. So come back at 3:30 for the earnings trades, and I'll see everybody then. And I'll see you all a bit later. See you all a bit later. Okay, take care.